having something to your name, it feels great. Like people will say like, you don't own the home, the bank owns the home. But if your name is on the title, you own it. Our home was priced at $599,000 and we put 10% down. I'm Starr.
And I'm Jenelle Yee, and we just bought our first home in Gardena, California,
which is 20 minutes south of Los Angeles. We were looking for a place for almost a year and a half.
We knew right away that this was going to be a longer term home for us. We put the offer down immediately when we actually viewed it. So I actually work remote, and location for me wasn't a huge factor. Ver actually works in Santa Monica, so we do like that it allows him to have that commuter experience. So he does take the buses and train over to work.
We have, a 2-car garage where that opens up into the front door area, which is like a den. It's an open floor plan, so we have a huge couch with a TV. We have solar panels which are owned outright, so we don't lease them. They just came baked into the price of the home, and that hopefully brings down our costs on electricity. All right, this little room right here is actually just right next to the living room. It's just like a den. As you can see, it's a computer setup. This is my area.
So here in my home office, I have converted it from one of the 2 guest bedrooms. So now I have an L-shaped desk with dual monitors, and a lot of my work is done digitally because it is a remote type of role.
When it's a real estate agent who's representing the buyer actually doesn't pay anything to the real estate agent that is representing them. It's actually baked into the sales price of the selling home and the seller. So typically, closing costs for buyers is like 3%.
I think it was about 2 years ago that we really decided we wanted to stop renting. Prior to moving to LA, we both lived in Austin, Texas. And once we moved to LA, the rent doubled. And then once we got here, the rent just kept increasing every year.
Since we were already paying rent close to $3,000, we were looking at monthly payments that would be around that.
All throughout high school and college, I was also working multiple positions. Along with those savings, I started working for a nonprofit, part-time remote, along with working a full-time job. So that helped me save a little bit faster and also build my capital. And along with savings, I do have investment accounts and retirement funds. Since I work remote, I usually just eat at home, and I don't really need to go out for lunch or anything like that.
I make my own cold brew, and this is why we were able to get a house, because I save money on coffee.
When we first started looking for homes all throughout California, ranging from Burbank to Glendale, all of the homes were priced at $700,000 or $800,000 or even higher. So that was pretty hard for us to kind of budget it out. Usually the prices will be a little lower if you just have to commute an extra 20 or 30 minutes. So for example, we're in Gardena, California. It's about 20 to 30 minutes away from central LA and also the main part of the city. So that was a little bit of a sacrifice we had to make.
When we spoke with a real estate agent, they wanted us to get pre-approved, and that involves, having your W-2s, your tax statements, your proof of funds, and then, submitting it to a lender. The reason why we went with Wells Fargo for this one was because they were offering credits towards closing costs and upgrades. We were able to get $15,000 in credits, so we used that partially for closing costs as well as upgrades like the floors, the cabinets, tile, the bathroom. And we got a pretty good rate at 4.125% on a 30-year fixed rate loan. You do have to pay for things outside of the mortgage, outside of the loan, outside of the down payment, such as an inspection. It's a new build, so there wasn't a lot of issues with that. We knew about closing costs. We knew that since we put less than 20% down, we would have PMI. Fortunately, it's not like a couple hundred, it's actually, less than $100 for our PMI. When you're a homeowner, you don't have a landlord, you don't have a property manager to submit a work form or get a new fridge. Like, you have to take care of it yourself. If you have bug problems, that's on you. If something breaks, that's on you as well. The first step, get pre-approved. See how much you're making, how much you have saved up, and then how much you can afford. Don't open any lines of credit when you're in the process. Like, the underwriters typically are the ones who make the decision. So, they're looking at your credit score, they're looking at your debt to income ratio, those things that I mentioned. We were very lucky because, Jenelle was transitioning jobs. So don't do that. Like, don't try to get a new job, don't quit your job. Make sure that you have proof of funds and proof of income when you're in the process. Buying a house or just a property or anything like that, it's like once you go through it once, you know that you can get through it.
Yeah, now that we understand the process firsthand, I think it's definitely something we can do in the future.